I'm not an engineer or nothing. I've got no engineering qualifications whatsoever. I'm just a mush. Hello. What's up, lads? Welcome to Oak Swamp and part 22 of the Austin 10 special wrap. Firstly, this week, as usual, I'd like to welcome all the new subscribers. What's up, lads and lasses?
I can't see you, obviously, but I bet you've all got smashing blouses on.
And I'd like to thank everyone last week who left a comment and a like. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Right, back on with Ian. First job I'm going to do is give this a good clean up round here and clean any of the mating surfaces up. And if there's any sharp edges, you know what I'm going to do with them, don't you? I think we're pretty much there. Needs a little bit more of a clean as well. A bit dirty in there, isn't it?
I'm standing on a rock, and I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm standing on a rock, and I ain't gonna move. I got something to live for, got something to prove. I'm standing on a rock, and I ain't gonna move. Well, there's a hard way of living when your heart is true. You can see it right through.
You know what this is? If you don't, what it is a honing tool. And what you do is you run it down your bores and it puts loads of little scratches down it. And what that does, it holds the oil on the liner for longer. Save wearing your bores out.
I'm standing on a rock and I ain't gonna move.
There you go, you look in there, look. That's got all very, very fine scratches on, as opposed to these shiny ones where the oil would just run straight off. This is going to hang on to the oil longer.
You might be happy to ride airplanes or driving around in fancy cars. Some people always do the right thing. Some people know just who they are. Well, I'm standing on a rock where they ain't going nowhere. Here I'm standing on a rock, whoa, and I ain't gonna move. I got something to live for, I got something to prove. I'm standing on this rock, and I ain't gonna move. Come on now, let's get it.
But she's rolling nice and smooth. What I've got to do now is the end float, so I need to torque these up apparently first, I think. Alright, I've found the place, and that is about that. That's alright, isn't it? It's no more than that anyway, so I think that's going to do. So we'll leave that like that for the minute. Swirly.
You might be having as a fine airplane or driving around in fancy cars.
Right, so I've got a set of rings off of eBay. £100 for a set of 4. Standard. Federal Mogul motor parts. So I'm going to throw them on and chuck this piston in.
I'm standing on a rock, and I ain't going nowhere. Here I'm standing on a rock, woo, yes, I ain't gonna move.
Too many rules. and not enough art in engines for my likings. If I had a workshop full of tools and an arsenal full of skills, then maybe engines would be fun. But, right, just going to put the front cover on.
I'm standing on a rock, and I ain't gonna move. Yeah.
Alright, so that's as far as I can get with this motor for the minute, because I'm short of a couple of odds and sods. But I'll be cracking on with that as soon as they arrive. So a few people have asked how they can contribute to the channel. Well, I've set up a tip jar. It's on the home page on the bottom right hand corner. It says tip jar. You press on that, it'll take you to PayPal. And if you want to make a contribution, throw me a quid or something, it'll buy me some new grinding discs. Anyway, thanks if you help me out there. Well, that's not very rusty, is it? It rained well yesterday. It's starting to get in there though. One day. One day's rain. I want to sort these axles out because there's a couple of little jobs that need doing on them. I feel there's a little bit of play in these kingpins, so I'm going to get them up on the bench and check that out. I don't know if they're adjustable or I've got to get new, but I want to sort that out because when that chassis's rusted up, I want to put this axle in for good. Jeez, beautiful. All the small early stuff for the Austins was all free studs holding the wheels on. Brass wheel nuts. I think these have obviously been off before. Someone's took them off because it's all coming apart really easy. Oh, there you go. Yeah, she's got a good old bit of play in that one. So what happens if we take this off? God, can you help me? I don't know why I do it. Oh. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. I never expected to see that coming out of there. Oh, let's keep going. So that bottom race. Right, I'll undo that, tap that cotter out and see if that pops out. Alright, so I'm going to bung some washers on here. Oh, there you go. Yep. Yeah. Oh, fuck this thread up. Right, I'm going to leave that for a minute because I don't want to mess it up. I've sent a message to one of our subscribers, Mr. Dave Harper. Hello, mate. And hopefully he'll get back to me. So I just spoke to Dave and he sent me a fact sheet on this. And it turns out I was doing it in the right way to start with by putting these washers on. The only problem is this nut. It's pretty screwed. So I'm going to try and find a nut that's going to fit that, which is going to be a job. And see if we can't have another go. Right, so I've whipped the nut off the other side. Hopefully it's going to come out with this, but we shall see. I think that's just destroyed the thread again. Yeah, it's left the thread on here. How did I know these kingpins were going to be a git? Right, so I'm going to look at this pinion now because it's leaked consistently. It was leaked from the day I got it, so I'm going to whip him down, see what I can do. Everything's going to be in pieces. Now I'm assuming this has got some sort of felt seal or something because they didn't use lip seals back in them days. But it's properly leaking. It's coming straight round that side, so I think I'm going to whip this lot off. See if I can find this felt seal. Then must be able to make one out of something.
That woman drove me crazy. She crushed dreams I had, run me round in circles till I end up going mad. Oh, that woman, she's made a fool right out of me.
I go and talk to Dave again because you can't just dribble out the front like that all the time, surely. Surely not.
That woman drove me crazy. She's making me feel
there's no sort of bush in there at all. It needs a lip seal on there. What do you reckon? Probably not, isn't it? That's just going to wear out, isn't it? Unless that little O-ring sat in there. So I don't know if that's going to do anything at all or just wear out. There we go. What's that like in here? Grubby. Teeth are good. No wear on that at all, really. What's going on in there? Hello? I want to see what the aft shafts are like now. I bet they're tiny. Really, I've got no clue how strong this axle is going to be. And if it will indeed handle that little Reliant engine. If you've got any idea how strong these axles are, leave me a message in the comments below. Let's make a gasket.
That woman's made a fool right out of me. I just can't put her down. Though she's messing me around. And I'm trying hard to quit. But that woman knows she treats me like a bitch.
There you go. It actually feels a bit nicer. I put 2 O-rings in here. They're just going to wear out probably, but it's worth a shot. I've taken the rear drums off and these shoes seem pretty good considering they've been stood around for so long. I'll just give it a little scratch with a bit of sandpaper and they look pretty good, so I'm going to carry on with these as they are. And that'll give a chance to wear these drums down nicely. And then I very much suspect I'll get these relined with quite a soft compound to make them work. Also with these front brakes, I've had a look at these and they're a similar sort of thing. So I'll do the same with those. I'm going to borrow a puller to get these hubs off because they don't want to come off. Now I've got to find out this nut size because I've destroyed both of the dome nuts trying to do it. Now I can't find it. I sent Dave an email again and so hopefully Dave's going to come back to me. So I'll get the kingpins out, whip these hubs off. This one's just a little bit stiff. Now this sump, I've had a good look at it and it's peppered with holes. It's really thin. It's been dragged along the floor at some point quite a lot. Now I could repair it, but all up here is all rusty and it's all lacy and I think it'll look rubbish. So I've got 2 choices here. I either get a second-hand one, which is probably favourite at this point, or I build another one. I think if I'm going to do another one I'll make it out of cast. I'll do it at a cast alley. I've been considering a rocker cover and this sump made out of cast alley, and what I would do is make a mould out of this and then go and get it cast. But I've got to do some inquiring because I don't know what that's going to cost nowadays. I had it done before and it was reasonable, but I'm going to make some inquiries on that, but I think that's no good. So I think that's my next job, is to ring up the company and see what they won't do and see if they'll let me film it, which would be handy. The steering box has got to come apart, be cleaned and put back together again, have a look, check he's got no wear on him. I think I'll do that now. Finish them other 2 today. Paul's bringing the drill home tomorrow and then I'll get all these sent off. Someone still hasn't claimed their keyring, which is Meowsy. So Meowsy, send me your address and I'll get it sent out to you. These are going out as soon as Paul's drilled those holes. They look sweet, man. Right. What I'm thinking is whip the steering box apart while I've got 10 minutes and have a look, see what's going on.
That woman's made a fool right out of me. I just can't put her down. Though she's messing me around. And I'm trying hard to quit. But that woman knows she treats me like a bitch.
Well, I'm just going to put this together gently. We know he's good. Anyway, if you've been watching the series, you might remember I went up to Hawkeyes and got a bit of aluminium for the body of the Austin. while I was up there was a stubby old coach, you might remember it. Well, tomorrow morning I'm going to be getting up early and heading to Tom's, and we're going to take the engine out of the donor van. Okay, so here's the donor, and there's a little old Sprinter. Is this 5-cylinder? Yeah, 5-cylinder. Hawkeye's been down there and raped it of all the wiring. This is blitzkrieg on this. We got to get this out as quick as possible.
Come on, boys, the work's all done. It's Friday night. Let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night. Short and stout, finger licking. Pass around that big fat chicken. Love the way they cluck and squall. I'm ready to do some heavy duty. Gotta be fast, you can't be slow. Grab that head and away you go. They may jump and scratch.
Right, so we got engine mounts, gearbox mounts, prop.
Take the stick out from inside. Any balloon bits left on the gearbox. Mounts, gearbox mounts, prop shaft, hydraulic clutch.
There's a big bull riding red who caught the eye of Uncle Ted. Grabbed a hold and went to work and fucked the
Fine cuisine again today. Bit of Greg.
If that band them stubby and wide, shiver up one hell of a fight. Scratch so hard they make you bleed, but it worth it, boys, 'cause it's so damn tight. So come on, boys, work's all done. It's Friday night, let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night. Tackle dirty. Come on, boys, work's all done. It's Friday night, let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night. Come on, boys.
Looks like it's crash landed, doesn't it? Well done, lads.
Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night.
Yeah, that's it, we're down. This will be going in that bus up at Hawkeyes. That's a 5-cylinder Merc turbo diesel. I think this is going to power it along nicely. These are really smooth engines, aren't they? Yeah, they're running about 110 horse, did you say?
Yeah, about 110, and they do well with a map as well.
I think chipped up to get maximum torque considering the weight of the vehicle.
Just as fun as any girl, and I never give you fucking.
I've heard a bit of burning out coming from over the way.
So come on, boys, work's all done. It's Friday night, let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night. Come on, boys, work's all done. It's Friday night, let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night. Pass me that little ginger bastard.
Well, that's about it for this week, lads, I'm afraid. But don't go anywhere just yet, because I've got something to show you. If you've been watching the whole series, you've been listening to Drop Your John all the way through. And what I have here is the 3 albums you've been listening to, and they're all brand new. This one, this is the latest album, and there is only 50 copies of this. I played on these 2 albums. I didn't on that one, but I played on these 2. Look, there we are inside. There's a Chrome Man. There's Hawkeye, and there's me over there. And there's Sid and Curtis. And there we are on the back. Now, if you want a chance at winning these 3 albums, make sure you tune in next week. So if you're not subscribed, do it now. Don't forget to leave me a like and a comment, because you know I love them. And I'll catch you dudes next week. Hang loose.
Come on, boys, work's all done. It's Friday night, let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night. Come on, boys, work's all done. It's Friday night, let's have some fun. Pull them britches nice and tight. Off we go to the redneck hen night.
And back to the studio. This is what I want you to drill, old beans. I don't know what this does. Should really look it up, I suppose. To try the drill out, he pushed it into the bit of alley and it snapped instantly.
Because he's a penis.
Big as fuck.
Yeah.